Growing up in the 90s in the United States, you could not escape boy bands. They were everywhere. Groups like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees were on the radio constantly. And me being like a fifth grader at this time, it was the perfect time for me to be swept up into the boy band mania. Personally, I love Backstreet Boys, and my first concert was even Backstreet Boys. I had all of their CDs. My friends and I would have dance parties in our rooms to their music. We would talk about which members they liked the best. I liked Nick the best, and I'm pretty sure that my parents never want to hear I Want It That Way again. Eventually, the boy band bubble burst, and I was out of a group of singing and dancing boys to base my entire personality off of. But then when I got into high school, my growing interest in anime and manga and Japanese culture in general led me towards something that would fill the boy band shaped hole in my heart. And that was idols. An anime fan site that I frequented a lot started posting about this group called Katoon, and it seemed like something that I would really like, and it reminded me of my time as a fan of Backstreet Boys. So I researched this group and I found other groups like them, like Taki and Tsubasa, Arashi, and News, who became my favorite group. These were the perfect thing for me. They combined my love of Japanese language and culture, and then also my desire to follow a group of cute boys that sing and dance. I really started to base my personality off of loving idol groups. I looked up all the information I could. I found all the music that I could, and it was such a fun time. I really found a thing that could be like my thing, you know? The idols that I like are from the agency Starto Entertainment, or they're formerly known as Johnny's and Associates. I have made so many friends and had so many amazing experiences from being like a fan of these idol groups. I have been a fan of News for almost 20 years now, and it's really not going to stop anytime soon. I have done everything that I can do to support News, but there's one problem. It's that I live in the United States. Being a fan of Japanese idol groups is really difficult as an international fan, and it just got a lot harder for Starto fans. So we're going to talk about why being a Starto fan just got worse. So the rest of this information may apply to other Japanese idol groups or Japanese J-pop groups, whatever, but we are specifically going to be talking about Starto groups and the issues that international fans are having. Most J-pop groups, and especially Starto groups, have a fan club that you can join. The fan clubs are officially run by the agency that the idol is employed by, and there's tons of stuff. You can get exclusive video content, exclusive photos, exclusive merch, and like events just for the fan club. But the main thing is concert tickets. For Japanese concerts, you need to apply to the fan club in order to get the chance to get concert tickets. Tickets are distributed by a lottery system, so after you've joined the fan club, then you fill out an application for the shows that you want to see and the dates and times that you want to see, and then you are entered into a lottery, or you ballot for the tickets. Once the results come out, everyone pays the same price. For Starto groups, I think it's somewhere around 89,000 yen, somewhere around there. And then when you get to the venue, that's when you find out your seat. So everyone in the entire arena pays the same price, and your seats are distributed at random. So when you scan into the ticket gate, a paper ticket is printed that has your seat information. Personally, I really like this system because it's really fair, and it kind of tries to deter scalpers for like the front row seats and stuff. You won't have stuff like people reselling first row seats for $5,000. But there is a problem with this system, and specifically with the fan club system. So for Starto groups, at least, you need a Japanese address and phone number to join the fan club. So I can't speak for all of the artists in Japan, but for Starto groups specifically, you need a Japanese address and phone number to join the fan club and to apply for tickets. This poses a really big problem for international fans to apply for the fan club and to go to concerts. As resold concert tickets are highly frowned upon, it does happen. You can get kicked out if they find out you got resold tickets. Also, another thing is that your name is printed on the ticket. Whoever is entering the concert, their name has to be on that ticket, or like your concert buddy, like the person who buys the ticket, has to be attending the concert with that ticket. So this really poses a problem for people who do not live in Japan but do want to go see these artists. International fans have really found so many ways to kind of get around this system and finding loopholes in the rules. They do things like getting help from friends and family or using proxy addresses in order to join the fan club and enter the ticket lottery. And this has worked so far, but Starto just implemented a rule that is going to squash all of international fans' hopes and dreams on attending concerts. The fan club application does allow for international credit cards, which is a new thing. It used to be that the fan club and the ticket application was an actual paper application that you had to go to like the post office or the konbini to fill out and submit and then pay via like wire transfer or like the kiosk at the konbini. Several years ago, they did move everything online and then started accepting international credit cards. So international fans took this as a way to maybe join the fan club using proxy addresses or some other type of way. I do recognize that this is a loophole in the system that international fans have kind of exploited, but really it's our only way to attend concerts, especially for these artists. They don't generally release tickets for general sale for these artists because of how popular they are. There has always been a threat for international fans to get kicked out of concerts. There have been rumors for years that people have been approached by staff during a concert and asked to show their fan club ID, and if they couldn't do that, then they were kicked out of the concert once they were already in the arena in their seat. I don't know how true that is, but those rumors have been circulating for a number of years now. I know people who have been turned away because they were found out to have bought resale tickets and couldn't prove that the tickets like were their own. And then recently, some news fans were turned away at the ticket gate because they were subjected to a random ID check and then could not prove that their proxy address was where they lived, obviously. And so they were not allowed to enter the venue. They did not get their money back, and they were treated very rudely by the staff. When they joined the fan club, they paid their fees, they balloted for tickets, and the only issue was that they did not live in Japan. Previously, the proxy address thing has worked because if they did check something, they would check the name on the fan club ID and then the name in your passport, and that would let them go as long as the ticket was in their name. But now they're subjecting people to random ID checks to check their address. It was also added to the Starto terms and condition that fan club addresses could not be like a corporate address or a place of business, which most proxy addresses are. And they have specifically stated in their fan club terms that fan club members can only be residents of Japan. These were supposed to go into effect October 2nd, so they have already gone into effect, but there were fans that have been turned away at a number of concerts before this date. Okay, so fair. I understand international fans have been exploiting a loophole in the system and technically are not allowed to join the fan club because they're not residents of Japan. But these ID checks are said to be used as a way to get scalpers or resellers out to prevent them. But really, international fans are not the ones reselling tickets and making a profit off of reselling tickets. First off, in order to sell tickets on a resale platform, you need to have a Japanese address. So, of course, they could use a proxy address, blah, 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 but the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim. The real resellers are people with multiple fan club accounts. I'm talking like 100 fan club accounts that ballot for every single show in every single location, and then they attend all of the shows or they just resell the tickets. There are also fans who live in Japan that bribe other fans and pay off other fans in order to get the best seats. I found out new information this week about people reselling their tickets after they get what seat they have. Basically, they find buyers in the arena and they just exchange money in the bathrooms, mostly cash. So that's really fun to find out about. The ID checks are supposed to be random, but I would really like to see the numbers on how many of these ID checks happen to people who appear Japanese and those who do not appear Japanese, because it can be used to specifically target international fans or people who do not appear Japanese. This puts international fans in a really bad spot, and it's only getting worse. Starto is sending out one message to the world, but then they are enacting another one at their concerts. So Starto and Johnny's groups for years have always been like, oh, we're going worldwide, we're worldwide stars or whatever, or they're bringing entertainment to the world, but they're really just concentrating on Japan. And I know like the Japanese music market is really successful, and they do not need outside help from other countries to like input money into their artists in order to become successful. They are a self-sustaining music market, so they really don't need this international audience. But the company has specifically done things, especially in recent years, that have telegraphed to international fans that they might be valued, or that their support is appreciated, when in actuality and in actions it is not. They're specifically putting in policies that bar fans from the one experience that both the artist and that the fans value the most, and that is concerts. So while Starto was still Johnny's, they opened up an English language Twitter. This was advertised as a like international account to reach audiences outside of Japan. For the longest time, this was the only Twitter account for this company. It was the English account. After they became Starto, they changed the English account to Starto International specifically, and then they have a separate Japanese account. And they just opened a global merch shop. So before, you had to use a proxy address to order from like the merch market or the online shop, and then have it forwarded to you. But they have opened up a merch shop specifically for global fans that ships outside of Japan. The shipping is very expensive, especially if you live in the United States, but it does ship worldwide. It doesn't ship to all the countries, and they have also partnered with services like Neokyo, where they act as a proxy for buying things like concert merchandise. And concert merchandise is another thing that you can buy on the global site when it's in stock. They also have a like global or like English site for specific events that are live streamed. These are very few events now, especially after like the quarantine era is over. So live stream content is very rare, but there is a specific English site for that, or global site for live streamed content. Also, in Starto's own company goals, they state, let me read this, that they are undertaking increased global openness and overseas outreach. So their company goals are to increase global openness and overseas outreach, yet you're putting in policies that are specifically barring from overseas fans from entering your concerts. Meanwhile, you are just barely offering concerts to the rest of the world. There's a few Asia concerts coming up for some groups, and there have been a select few Asia concerts before, and Travis Japan is coming to the US for 3 shows, but that's it. Do you see a pattern here? Starto Entertainment is happy to take our money for merch, but they are not happy to have us attend concerts. The one thing that every fan dreams of attending. The artists under Starto especially say that out of all of the things that they do, holding concerts is their favorite. Holding concerts and meeting their fans, having that energy, that fan idol relationship happening in a concert, that very special relationship, that's their favorite thing, and we cannot participate in that for some reason. The one dream that any fan has is to attend the concerts, and we are being told we are not allowed, we are not welcome at concerts, and we are being turned away literally at the door. So if Starto Entertainment really wants to increase their global openness, they really need to start treating their international fans not like an ATM, but like every other fan. They need us to be able to join the fan club in a legitimate way and get tickets the same as any other fan, whether they live in Japan or not. This is our one wish. Ask any Starto fan, and it's let us buy concert tickets. But you may be asking, Christy Lou, I heard that they used to have an international fan club or international tickets, but what's up with that? Okay, so this is J Ticket International. So this J Ticket International was a thing that was started, I believe, it seems like it was headed by Takizawa Hideaki when he became a producer. Because it was combined with his Techie Channel project. So this was a service that allowed international fans to attend concerts. There was also an email newsletter too with other information, but the main thing was opening up seats for international audience members to concerts. So you didn't have to join the fan club, but you could apply for these tickets. So it seems like it opened up in 2012, and the emails that I have about it end sometime in around 2013, after about a year, but I don't know the exact dates for when it actually shut down. That's just what my inbox says. So it really did not last very long. So international fans could use J-Ticket International as a way to see stage plays and concerts that the company had opened up for. So it was not every show, and it was not every group. Only select shows, venues, and groups were open to having J-Ticket International. You basically could apply for one show. You could only get 2 tickets. You couldn't get 1 ticket, and you couldn't get any more than 2. It was just 2 tickets. And you had to apply for it, and then once you, like, if you were accepted or whatever, you had to give them like all of your flight information, your accommodation information, and your passport information, so they could tell that you're really just coming to the country for this concert, or you're like, you didn't actually live in Japan or whatever, which, I mean, is good to like deter people from maybe using this as another way to get tickets if they didn't win the ticket lottery in the fan club. I never experienced this myself, but I did talk to a few people who did experience it, and they said that there were a block of seats that was reserved for the international tickets, I guess, and that they were decent seats. They weren't like the best seats in the house, but they weren't like all the way in the back, and didn't seem like they were leftovers. They were set aside specifically for this service. You also got a little postcard with it and a questionnaire on like kind of what groups you like, what made you like them, what's your favorite things, that sort of thing. Seems like a little bit of market research. I don't know if these seats were made available after or like at the same time as regular fan club balloting. This did happen a long time ago, and I don't really have like the fandom reach to really find out this information. So if anybody knows about the timing of when these J-Ticket International tickets were released, let me know. So I also couldn't find out a reason why this service shut down. Most people will probably just say like it wasn't used enough. Maybe the company didn't want to reach out to international fans anymore. I don't know. It did seem like the company was using it as a way to research about their global fan base, but really nothing came of it, because it wasn't until several years later where we got the global store, the international, like the English Twitter and stuff like that. I think even like the credit card payments, the international credit card payments online came after that. So it was really like almost a decade afterwards that all of these kind of like international efforts by the company really started to ramp up. Maybe that, I don't know how long it takes to implement like a service like this or anything like that, or how long it takes for market research to happen, but a decade seems like a really long time. So I really think that something like this could be implemented again. Personally, I feel like international fans should be able to join the regular fan club, and we should be treated like every other fan. If we had a service that was a select block of seats, then I feel like maybe some domestic fans might be a little bit upset by that, feeling like we are taking away seats from them or whatever, or some sort of preferential treatment. There have been kind of like some loud fans that have been upset when it seemed like international fans were prioritized or something like that. So with some of the Asia concerts that were announced recently, it was announced that fan club would not get priority for those shows. Like, it wouldn't be a ballot system, it would just be whatever that country's ticketing website is. And there was some backlash from a choice amount of fans, whining that fan club didn't get priority. I don't really want to like call out any specific group, but also with Travis Japan's US concerts, there were some pre-sale codes that were released to the fan club, and there was kind of a little of a stink when people were sharing them online before ticketing started, because a lot of the fan club members thought they were just for the fan club. And I thought that too for a moment, but the pre-sale codes were also in the promoter emails from the venues, so anybody could have gotten the pre-sale codes. But the fact that they were making a stink about it kind of stinks. The international fan base is not very large. The domestic fans of these groups really outnumber the amount of international fans, and especially the amount of international fans that are attending concerts. Allowing international fans come to concerts, it's not like the concerts are going to be overrun with international fans or anything like that. So just let us join the fan club. Really, that would be the most ideal situation, is to let us join the fan club. One argument that people tend to bring up when we talk about like international fan rights or whatever with these companies is that they're like, oh, but Starto is a business. Like your fandom feelings don't really matter because it's a business at the end of the day. And honestly, just stop with that argument. This business is alienating a customer base that is willing to spend money. We pay good money on their products, which are the idols, and their services, which are concerts. So why are we turning international fans away? What is the point of it? We already spend money on so much other stuff. Why can't you just let us attend the concerts? Really, what is the problem? There are other countries that allow international fans in their fan clubs. There are other Japanese fan clubs that allow international fans in their fan clubs. So what's stopping you, Starto? Why are you doing this to us? International fans spend so much money, and honestly, more than the average Japanese fan, because we also have to pay for international shipping. And if you live in the United States, then you're screwed. In order to attend these concerts, we have to take so much more time off. We have to spend so much more money on accommodations, on transportation, plus all of the like regular concert costs like tickets and merch and stuff like that. We pay for long flights. Some of us have to pay for visas to even enter Japan. And of course, like the costs vary by where you're coming from. So like going from Korea to Japan is not a big deal. It's not a very long flight and it's not that expensive. But if you live where I live, which is on the East Coast of the United States, you are easily paying $1,500 for your flight. For a lot of people, attending a Starto concert is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I have been a news fan for almost 20 years now. I have all of their CDs and their DVDs. None of the purchases of these CDs and DVDs goes towards charts anymore, or anyway. So all of my money spent it's not helping news chart. It's just because I love them. I buy their concert merch. I sing their songs at karaoke. I have been there having my heart ripped out every time members have left from this group. I have cried over them so much. I have sung their praises. I have promoted them to people who want me to shut up about talking about idols. But I persist because I know how great this group is, and I love them that much that I am willing to have my heart stomped on by former members. I am willing to spend my money on them, to support them in any way I can, because I love them that much. I've woken up at 4 a.m. for live stream concerts, which I had to take off work, by the way, because it was at 4 a.m. I learned a new language for them. I tell people I learned Japanese because I like Japanese culture and blah, 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 blah. But really, it's for these men. I learned Japanese so I could better understand them. Learning a new language for your idol is the ultimate form of oshikatsu. The one thing that every fan dreams of is to see their favorite idol in concert. And you are telling me, because I do not live in Japan, that I am not allowed to have that dream. I am not allowed to realize that dream. This company is literally built on creating and selling dreams. And you are saying, because I don't live in the same country that my idol lives in, that my dreams aren't worth it. The dreams of me and my friends are not worth their time. I know we are a small amount, but our dreams also matter. We are being used as ATMs, but we are not allowed the one experience that every idol and every fan values the most, and that is concerts. What's the point of liking an idol group if you never have the opportunity or even the chance or the availability to see them performing the songs that you listen to all the time? What's the point? What are we here for? Now, I know this might seem very dramatic and blah, 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 but like, if you are a fan of something and you are a big fan of something, especially if you have invested literally 2 decades into the same group of men or the same music group, then this matters a lot. Like, I know that it's been 12 years since I was last in Japan, and I don't know when I'm going to go back. But knowing that I have the opportunity to see my favorite group, like, would be great. International fans are not looking for special treatment. We are looking to be treated the same way that every other fan is treated. There are 2 things that any fan of Starto Entertainment will tell you that they want. Number 1 is to be able to join the fan club and attend concerts like any other fan. And the other one is that we want at least English subtitles on pre-recorded content. Because remember, any English subtitles that you see on any Starto YouTube video are done by a fan. That is the labor and the time and the energy of a fan that has added those subtitles for free out of their own time, because the company would rather use the wallets and labor of international fans rather than treat us the same or give us the content that we need. Just give us the English subtitles. That's a whole other issue. These 2 things would help the company so much to reach their goal of global openness and international outreach. It would make international fans feel like we are valued as fans, as people, and as customers. That we're not just used for our wallets, but that our dreams and our desires also matter. I missed my chance to see news in 2012. I was leaving Japan and Tokyo the day after their concert, and I had to go back to Osaka the day of their concert. I did not switch my dates or anything like that. I did not make it happen. And it is one of the greatest regrets of my fangirl life. And I feel like if Starto Entertainment continues on this path that they're on, that I may never get the chance to see them ever.